Welcome to a farmer's evening farm drive right here from County 034. We want to keep you company as you go home. If you are at home already, najua wakulima sasa hiyo karibu kufika nyumbani. Ama washafika. Lakini unafanya nini hapa bana? We are actually going to talk about something very important, but let us know where you're watching us from, where you're listening to us from. Remember, on Zeno Radio, you can be able to listen to a farmer's radio to get to know much more. I hear there's some music there also. You can be able to get to know much more about what we're doing. We are deep in the drought, and it's a challenge. I'm joined by two gentlemen. One will be telling us about what that experience looks like, how they felt, especially the younger generation. And then one will also tell us much more about why is this a great opportunity to commercialize pasture. Let them introduce themselves. Kizungu tafadhali.
Thank you. My name is Titus Nakel. I come from Isinya sub-county at Oltroto location. I'm here to tell about the experience on how us pastoralists have really suffered about the drought that have gone for around 2 years now. So that's how we will begin.
Great.
Okay, thank you to our viewers. My name is Kelvin Mule. I'm a business specialist, and basically today I'll be talking about the importance and the business aspect of pasture commercialization. Thank you and welcome.
Perfect. I want to start by, first of all, because both of you come from areas where there's livestock.
Yeah.
And it's practiced as part of business, normally, agribusiness. Where do you think, as a young person, anyway, Titus here will tell us about his age first. Nagamo Sokoni. Now, let us know, first of all, as a young person, what was going through your mind when the cattle, the goats, the sheep were just dying?
First of all, I want to begin by saying, as we understand as Kenyans, the agriculture sector is one of the biggest that is holding our economy. So as in speaking the dimension of businesses, it's like when you have agriculture, number one, we'll be having the feeds, and when you have the feeds, you're having the outcome of them, like the pastures which our animal will feed on it, which they will bring. Number one, we'll be having something like meat, very good milk, meat. We'll be having the raw materials like milk. We'll be having skin, raw materials like plates which come from bones. We'll be having raw materials from horns. And the entire thing will just be business circulating factor.
Yes.
So it will be very grateful for this pasture commercialization, because we will minimize the death of our animals, which will create jobs. For example, in the community, in our community, we will have the raw materials which are collected from these things taken to those places, which will create a lot of jobs to the young generation. And the country will end up getting like foreign exchange, because we can export some of these meats, can export milk.
But as you're saying that, something is going through my mind. Where did we start getting beaten? Especially in your community, as a young person. Is it that you don't have a voice to tell Mzee or your dad or the clan, the clan elders, they're called Balozi, to tell them, guys, this is climate change. We need to offload. We need to sell cows now before they die all.
Well, number one, we have a very big challenge.
Before they all die.
Yeah.
Oh, before they all die. Okay.
Number one, we have a very big challenge, because in our Maasai culture, most of the Ma people keep animals for prestige.
Okay.
For prestige. So that people will say you have
200 cows.
Yeah. And that one have really brought for our losses.
When you talk about prestige, is it quantity? Is it quality? Is it value?
It depends on the dimension that you take it, because if you talk about the quality, there are some people who rear sheep which come from South Africa, they bring breeds from South Africa. Then for them, the prestiginess will be so heavier, because they have the right quality of the cattle and the sheep.
Hiyo nasikia mbegu.
Yeah, hiyo sana mbegu from South Africa.
Actually, now that you've brought it up,
yes,
I have a very deep question. You've talked about quality.
Yes.
And in this term, let's think about it in terms of quality and quantity. What are we going for?
Yes.
Or what are you guys going for? Because you might have 200 cows that are not of the best quality.
Yes.
But you have 5
200
cows
yes.
which have the best quality
Yes.
and produce the best quality.
Yes.
So
Which one do you get? Which one comes first? Is it the quantity, quality, or value? Because you might have, like a dairy cow is 100 and what, 100 and even 50,000 Kenya shillings.
Yeah.
But how much is a cow? At just beef cow.
Average beef cow, you can get to 40, 50, at around 60.
60,000.
Yeah.
So when you're looking at prestige, you know, there's somebody who has 100 normal cars. And not 100, 100 is too much.
that's unrealistic.
five cars.
Yeah.
And there's one who has a chopper. So what are you looking at? Are you looking at the value? How do you measure the value? The prestige cow, is it the value of the cows? Is it the quality of the cows you have? Or is it the number?
Most likely is a number.
Number.
Most of the time is number.
So is it because are you basing the fact on a number on the property you have? Because I think I hear the livestock is part of the family.
Yeah.
So if you look at it that way, is it the ability to feed these cows? Is that factored in, or what does it look?
I think that is the ability of atimutu kufeed. It's not so much taken off.
When you look at it from an agribusiness perspective, Kelvin,
Yep.
what do you think is this thing that probably is being taken away from them by over-criticizing their way of doing it? Is there something that the communities around them, considering that the land that you have has also reduced in size?
Yeah.
The land has reduced tremendously, yeah?
Yeah.
Yes. From an agribusiness perspective, what direction do you think they can take?
Thank you. Okay, for me, I'd look at more of quality than quantity, because as you've said, the land acreage that they had back then is still small.
Yes.
And now we have the aspect of climate change. And basically, I believe that change is inevitable.
Yes.
And we have to go with the change.
Exactly.
10 years ago, the rainfall patterns 10 years ago are not the same rainfall patterns. So as the climate changes and as things change, I also believe that we need to change also our mindset.
Yes.
So that we can be able to adapt to whatever is happening right now. So from the agribusiness point of view, I'd feel like I'd rather have 5 good cattle that I can take care of without any complaints amount, no challenges for a period of maybe a year. Even if there's no rainfall within that year, if I have enough hay and if I have enough resources, I can feed my 5 cattle and still get produce.
Interesting.
Other than having a large number, and in turn comes as losses to my side.
You've mentioned something very important, which I want you to pick on before you answer, is being the ability to feed. Because for a very long time, the Ma community, I'll talk about it because they're my neighbors as well. They did not believe in hay. In fact, leave alone hay. I used to harvest maize. I tell my neighbors, please come and cut instead of us just doing away. Come and cut and take. And they're like, no, allow our cows just to enter. And we cannot.
Oh, to them it's tedious.
It's tedious. In fact, when there's a place that now for us we practice regenerative agriculture, so we can live like a whole 2-3 acres without after harvesting. So there's grass there. You tell them, come and cut this grass and go with it.
They'll be like, no.
In fact, we even tell them, do this when we are. There's a word I want you guys to tell me what is kupalilia in English, or weeding. So when you're telling, can you come and when you're weeding, you carry the grass. They're like, no, can you just allow our cows? Now you cannot allow cows in the middle of maize or watermelon.
That's destructive.
I have seen the transformation of you now buying silage, you buying hay. The other day, the project you're telling us also in terms of the sisal, and now they're eating. What is going on through your minds now?
I think for the Ma community, they have to schedule their minds. Because, as we are saying, it's very difficult to tell me to come and remove this and take to the animals rather than just giving them to eat. because I think they see there is tedious, and I don't see it sometimes wise. But for now, because this is a disaster, and when a disaster comes, some lessons must be learned from it.
Having lost cows, I will go back to that point. According to the NDMA, National Drought Management Authority, the drought has affected more than 23 counties.
Yeah.
Some of them are on alert, and some of them on alarm.
Yeah.
However, 2.5 million livestock have died.
Yeah.
So if you multiply, who came from school last, multiply 2.5 million times an average of what? 1,000 shillings?
That's 2.5
billion shillings.
Yeah.
In fact, it was approximated that we're talking about close to probably 4,000, because a goat is 4,000 shillings.
Yeah.
So we're talking about 10 billion shillings has been wiped out from our economy.
Yeah.
What is this thing that now you guys want? We'll go back to that question first. But before you answer that one, how much goats did you lose?
In our home?
Your home, yes.
Around 100, 150.
So if you talk about 100 times 40 times 4,000, we're talking about 4 million shillings.
Another thing, what if they had this, the way you said, off-boarding or selling of the cattle? We have regions in our country where they have reliable rainfall. Areas around Mount Kenya, around the Lake region. What if they were open-minded to a point that during this drought season, yes, you can sell maybe your goat not at the same price like when the market is at its peak, but when you get the drought is affecting you, your cattle are dying. Why can't you just sell this cattle to guys who are in this region that are favorable, and that can come into animal fattening and all that, which translates now to income.
Let me disrupt you. The issue here is not about selling or what.
Yes.
Number one, the change has happened because it was obvious for us that it will rain on late November and all of the December. So the experience we are getting it now, because it has never happened for those years. Because if this
it is a repeat. 2011 was bad.
Yeah,
2017 was bad equally.
But in 2017, you remember in 2017, we had the long drought from around May, June, July to January, and in January, late January,
it rained.
We had a lot of rain.
Yes, but now 2018, it did not rain so much.
Yeah.
As well.
Yeah.
2019, it rained a bit.
2020,
no rain.
No rain.
2021, no rain. 2022, no rain. Why did you not sell?
I think they were just hoping for rain.
These guys have hope. The guys who have...
I need that hope.
We just have hope for rain.
I need such hope in my life.
Interesting. Remember, you're watching a Farmers Media Evening Drive. We are taking a short break and we'll come back and talk about traffic. Let us know any incidences and accidents to report. Let us know in your comment section. But most importantly, let us know where you are watching us from. Remember to follow our social media handles at a Farmers across Facebook, Instagram. Instagram, Nini. Again, I used to think Instagram. Oh, TikTok is that
TikTok.
one. Twitter as well. And let us know your comments. And actually, before we go for break, actually, I was in Rwanda and every motorbike had a helmet. Anybody on a motorbike.
Yeah, those are the rules of the road.
I'll share the story. We're going into a short break.
Okay.
Welcome back to Farmers Evening Drive right here, and we are discussing about pasture.
Yeah.
The effect, especially to the younger generation, because the older generation have seen it, they've never seen anything like this before.
Yeah.
And so if they've never seen this before, you are seeing it now. You are experiencing it now. You don't have the patience that they had. When I talk about the patience, it's because what you have is you have inherited the cows and the goats and the camels, all that. What is your plan?
Number one, the plan of the younger generation, they have to change their minds on the old moves of our fathers and get...
Including the moving of the cows.
Yeah, from one place to another.
Nasikia you are telling us your cows are in Makindu.
They go to others, you from here to Voi, Namigu. You have to change the old moves. We come to the new moves. We leave about the culture and we go for the business. That one will work very well. Because if you can acquire like 100 bulls, or let's just say 50.
Let's get the numbers, this guy's quarter. Me nafikiria 20.
Let's just say 50. And then you do a fattening for almost 3 months. You will get double the price you bought them.
But you guys, these guys have, there's a guy, you're making this guy very happy. Stop being emotional. There's a guy, my neighbor is called Sakita. The guy has a cow that is 12 years old.
12 years old?
Yes.
12 years.
There is no economic benefit in that. No. Because even the rate of production, even the younger one, the quality will not be as good.
Yeah.
You know?
No, that's where the prestige comes in.
So that is more prestige, because you hear the saying, that cow. You know, the guy walks with in fact, the older ones, they walk with a black rungu, black stick, and they're like, the guy is, the guy anasema that one and that one. So let me ask you, when you look at it that way, when you talk about changing the mindset, do you think you're ready for changing the mindset now, or it will be a reactional way of changing the mindset? Are you reacting to it because of the effect of the drought?
Yeah, somehow we have to react to it because of the consequences that we are seeing.
Okay.
And the reality which has hit us. Because if we will not do, the same will just happen.
Najua emotional, lakini songa tu karibu na mic. So now I want us to go in a very interesting way. Your parents saw the drought all through. Their grandchildren are seeing the same drought.
Yeah.
When you talk about pasture commercialization, when you talk about pasture commercialization, is it the right thing?
Very well, because number one, they have to get the knowledge of storage.
Okay.
In the Bible, there is something that we call the law of seasons. That there are days of rain.
Yes.
And there are days of drought. And if it starts raining now, that is a letter that dry season is coming. Remember the story of, let's go to the Bible, the story of Joseph. The story of Joseph. He told Pharaoh in his dream, because the dream was a mystery, that it will happen.
7 years.
7 years.
Yes.
And biblically, even biblically,
yes.
If we had rain in, let me just say like this, if we have rain for 1 year and we have drought for 1 year, the drought will be more hotter than the rain, even if it's the same timeline. So we have just to understand that the law of seasons, that times have changed.
So when you talk about times have changed, how do you plan? What do you think would be the right way? Because I think that's a discussion that Kelvin needs to start hearing. How do you think your age group will take up the issue of commercialization of pasture? Because it's also a community activity to walk around with your neighbors, with cows and all that. But I'm seeing that even your younger generation is now hiring someone to actually even take care of the cows. So how do you think they will take up this pasture commercialization, especially for those who are going to plant?
About planting, it depends with something like water, but I can say if we will rely on rain and you have like around 50 acres, why would you put away aside like 20 acres?
Si munaongea numbers kubwa.
honestly, to me, this is a culture shock.
You won't get your points.
Na quarter an acre, na eighth an acre.
Let's say 10 acres, and then you put
On an eighth of an acre, somebody has 2 dairy cows. You're talking about
Has
50
maize,
acres.
beans,
So
How many acres do you have?
in our home.
Yes, you. You see, these guys don't talk about theirs. They don't say our
It's a
home.
home, yeah.
Okay.
It's a community.
You as Titus.
Me as it's around 20, 30. I don't say a lot.
And you're not the only child.
And it's not
Yeah.
a lot. It's not a lot. It doesn't have a lot.
Hey, if you give me 30 acres, I build a ranch.
So if somebody like have, because I'm talking about the Ma community,
Yes.
about the pasture community, if you have like 100 acres or 250, just take like 20 acres and then fence it very well.
Okay.
Because you will not require you will require zero energy. Just fence it and then just wait for the rains. When they grow, cut them and then you put in hay form, and it will be very okay that you will not be shifting. And let's say that we'll be having the rainy seasons for around 5 years. That there will be no a very long drought. You'll be able to keep the haze for those years. So when that drought come and hits you, you have something very plenty for to give your cattle.
Okay, I think that's where the point of sensitization now comes in.
Yes.
Because, as he has said, the Ma community is well known for pastoralism, and they are not well known for agriculture.
Yes.
So, changing that norm now, and changing that culture from keeping your animals and now restraining them to an area just because you have a feed,
Yes.
that needs a lot of convincing. And I believe that now that's where we come in as business developers and
Yes.
also as the county and the national government.
Yes.
Because we have to inform and educate the community on now the importance of commercialization of pasture.
Yes.
Because I've ever heard of a scenario where someone asks me, unapanda nyasi ya nini? Si nyasi inameanga tu. You understand?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because to them, this is a natural occurring resource.
It occurs naturally.
So I don't have to go a step further and
And-
put in my work and put in my capital and my finances
Yes.
just to do something that can occur naturally. Yeah, so I think this drought
Yes.
that has hit should be a turning point, not only for the Maasai community or the Ma, but for the entire globe, actually.
Yes.
Because this is an issue that is affecting the whole globe.
Yeah.
So when you say that, it also means that, because what I want to hear from you is that everybody will come with different solutions.
Yeah.
In fact, this is the worst time
Yeah.
for I mean, it's the best time because of what is happening, but it's the worst time in terms of being exploited.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because everybody will come with seeds. You don't know the quality of seeds.
Yeah.
Everybody will come with pasture. You don't know the quality.
You don't.
Sorry, the quality of the seed that will be grown for pasture.
Yeah.
Everybody will come and say this fertilizer is organic. Use this one.
Yeah.
So when you look at that, are you guys ready to sell a few cows and drill a borehole?
Number one, I don't know what will be sold because
There's nothing remaining.
there is nothing remaining and the prices are low for those which are remaining.
How much is the average price of cows now?
You can get a very good cow at around 15,000 to 20. A very good one. The younger ones you can currently. The younger ones you can get at around 18, which are very energetic. They can survive the drought. 18, 20, 17, 16, 14,000. They are very cheap, by the way.
And
So
what-
it's like
and
if you are
what about
telling me
sheep?
to
What about sheep?
cheap, they don't have money. Like 4,000, 5,000. But the bigger ones,
Busikia vile msana wangetia, there's no money there.
there is no money.
Do you know how much
If
sheep
you
is
have
in,
100
do you know how much
sheep.
sheep is in Kakamega?
I don't know.
3,000 shillings, a very big one.
Wow.
3,000.
Yes. Because everybody has.
Yeah.
They're very big.
But if
So
you
let,
translate the numbers,
so let me ask, because I wanted us to flow in a certain direction. Changing the mindset is not going to be an easy thing.
Yeah.
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 Which direction do you think you, as one of the people who has actually lost, you have seen it lost? Yes, you have hope. Yes, we have had some rains, but now the rains have disappeared. In fact, somebody was saying if it doesn't rain for the next 2 weeks, it's a different story.
Very different.
Tell us,
Be worse.
tell us from where you are, around the area you are, and considering that your cows have also
Shifted.
shifted. What do you think would be your role, especially now that you are seeing the possibility of commercializing pasture? What would be your role before Kelvin comes in and tells us what is the mathematics?
My role is just, number one, you start something by inventing it and educating the people, telling the advantages of this thing. Because in our home, I just bless God, because what I'm doing here, we have done it from the year 2013. When in the year 2013, my father and mother were sitting and say, which thing can we do in our home? If you come in our home, we have 17 acres which are fenced, and we just do grass. In 2013, when we cut our grass first, people around, my father's brothers, people around, they say you are stupid, nini, unakata aje nyasi. But after the 2017, whatever, they saw the reality. Then they began. When you become an inventor, people will just brainwash you, and then they will stop much things.
To discourage you.
Yeah. But if they see the advantage of it...
Allow me to cut you short. What did you do? You talked about cutting grass. Now I'm wondering, okay, when you mean cutting grass, what do you mean?
In 2013, we did hay. But we did it in a wrong way, because we didn't have a store. So we were putting the
hay bands.
Yeah. These paper bags.
Paper bags, yes.
Because they are big one. So the disadvantage came when it rains, the water gets in, and then... But after the experience, we realized that when, grass as yaribikangi, when you put it very correctly, it's very hard.
Yes.
So my father bought some things, we sell some sheep, and then we tengeneza good store. Currently we have a very good store. So when it rains, there is no any leakages. And then it was built at 2017. But we had some places we were operating, and in 2018 there was rain, 2019 we cut again. So we put like 3,000 bales. So at this drought, our cattle were, and we have sell some of them, and our cattle were feeding on this.
So you didn't lose a lot of cattle?
We didn't lose a lot of cattle. We only lost like our home, I'm thinking our home, like 4 to 5 cattle. According to the external people,
if you compare to the
external people, they have lost a lot.
So do you think that is the beginning of the mind shift before even telling people to grow Konufsan? What do you think about, Kelvin, in terms of the business angle? What do you think that makes sense?
Yeah, it does make sense. Now talking of a scenario where, let's say my friend Titus here is talking about 30 acres. If you do your math, out of the 30 acres, if you just spare 10 acres, sell not all, but some of your cattle, and maybe now come up with a long-term solution like the digging of boreholes. You'll find that in that situation, it's a win-win situation because you will grow a pasture.
Yes.
You can also have a kitchen garden or anything. And this pasture, you'll use it to feed your cattle, which in turn will sell, having an economic benefit to you.
Very correct.
So now, there's a place where I'm dwelling. Either I'm slow or you guys are too fast.
Yeah.
Who are we talking to first? Who do we start putting this message to? Because we have to start somewhere. We might not start with your fathers. We might not start with you guys because you guys have borders, so you're not really interested. Is it the local administration? Whose responsibility is it to start seeing how this can affect? Because we have to start somewhere, but we have to start the right place.
I believe we should start at the local administration because even our farmers, when they have problems or challenges, they seek their solutions from the local administration.
Okay. So that's assistant chief.
Local administration is in a better position to convince the farmers, because talk of a scenario where I'm supposed to go and convince my dad, who is 50, 60 years older than me. He'll be like, I've seen more and I've done more.
Yeah.
But from another person's perspective, I think they'll be easily.
So if you look at it, and I really like that point because they'll say that they've seen it all.
Yeah.
These ones are very funny. They listen to you and I tell you, me or two.
I remember my dad telling me, yeah, 82 iligonga sana.
Sasa unakuja kuniambia kiangazi.
Na bado tuko.
That's how they say by the way. That's how they say.
So does that mean that you as a young person, because I like the point that you put about local administration, and I think that's the reason why His Excellency the President has said farmer registration has to start from the local chief.
Yeah.
Assistant chief. You know? So does that mean, because people have to believe, and for people to believe they have to see.
Yeah.
Sindio? Hata sasa nikiambia
especially in the Commonwealth that we are living.
Enda hapo bisi ninunulie ng'ombe. Ndamwambia ngoja kidogo nifike. You know.
That's the Commonwealth.
So my question is, do you think having some of the farmers setting up like a farmer field school, like a demo around the local administration areas, would that serve as a
because in the current world, people believe what they have seen, not what you tell them. So if you put a demonstration that this thing can work, then they will adapt it very easily.
What does that look like? What does that mean when you say they will adapt easily? Because if you look at the image that we have there on the screen, you find that yes, there's a lot that is happening. That's good. This jamaa karibu atoke kwa studio.
Very happy.
At what point do we arrive to that? At what point do we get that quality of? You see, now that one we're looking at quality, quantity,
and the
value.
Number one is the way the people are told how to rear these things. The stages, how they should breed, the types of breed which they, so it will require many factors for them to arrive at this level. And you cannot put the animals. The problem with us that it have really affected us. We keep more animals, less the feeds that they can get.
But is it because but I cannot blame you. Let me tell you, Kelvin. The other time, there's a friend of mine who had 30. He just said, let me buy 30 goats. Sheep, sorry. He just bought 30 sheep. In 5 months, he was told he has 90, he has 60. And he asked him why. Zilikuwa zimezaa. So you see now, he has more animals than the available feed. Which feed? Do you do the dry matter? Do you do the wet matter? Which one goes well with the breed? Because even before answering that, do the breeds you have are the best? Are they the best?
Another thing is the problem. We are not buying the breeds which have adaptive characteristics of this. So what we do,
which would be? Because you have the Sahiwal.
We have the Sahiwal are the best, but not in all parts of the Kajiado County. Because
Kajiado, by the way, that's true. Kajiado has different.
Different.
Yes, ecological zones.
Yes. We have the Zebu. We have the Simmental.
Yes.
I think those are the breeds that can work very well.
So is Zebu the best? Or it depends on the region?
It depends on the region, but if you crossbreed them, then you make the best of them.
So you're doing it like a GMO?
Yeah.
GMO for cows.
So it will be the best because
they're creating hybrid.
Yeah.
Kelvin, economic sense of having rearing cattle and feeding. I mean, I know it's early stages and we are yet to understand the business angle of the commercialization. What do you think would be an ideal situation? 30 goats, 20 goats, 5 goats, feed well, go to the market early.
Yeah, so for me, I know I might get some backlash because of this, but still narrows down.
Don't worry, we won't quote you.
You won't
we'll tag someone else.
Narrows down to the numbers.
Yes.
Because takeover scenario, we have just discussed that the pieces of land they had are not the same pieces of land.
Yes.
So there comes an aspect of overgrazing. And overgrazing comes with an effect of soil erosion because like you're exploiting everything on that land. So even in the next 1 year, in the next rainy season, due to maybe the soil erosion and exploitation, the nutrients are not no longer the same.
Yes.
You find that even maybe the grass won't grow the same way.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I feel like they should mostly concentrate on the numbers and also look at the economic aspect of it. Because why are you rearing this cattle?
Yes.
The main point is the economic part of it.
Which
to get money from
exactly,
that.
which makes sense.
Yeah.
But you see, your prestige is more of pride than income.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
And
So does that mean that we should not feel sorry for you when you tell us our source of pride is
it's no longer,
It's not
because it's not a matter. It's not a livelihood.
Yeah.
it's just
It's a lifestyle.
Yeah,
It's
it's
a
a
lifestyle.
lifestyle,
Yeah.
exactly.
For you, cows, livestock is a lifestyle,
Yeah.
and not a livelihood.
Yeah.
So on that point, when you talk about now it being a lifestyle, there is a lot of discussion going on now that actually rearing of cows in the pastoral way of way of doing it leads into excessive carbon emissions. So they talk about ozone layer, which you are really passionate about.
Yeah.
Is one of the activities that happens is that is a result of the carbon emissions is actually herding of cows. Do you think that would be something that you'd consider and start training people on planting trees, on because I mean we need the soil back.
Yeah.
You know, when you have it in a controlled area, it means that even the manure that is there is helping restore.
Yeah.
Yes,
That's true. That's
yes.
true.
Now there are different ecological zones. I want to ask you in terms of, I mean, I was talking to one of the government officers, county officers, and he was saying that the region that has been like this hope of Kajiado County, the Loitoktok area, Kimana areas.
Yeah.
In fact, he was saying that they're just waiting for if 2 more weeks there's no rain, it's done.
Yeah.
And that is where the hope is. Is that the reason why you've moved them to Taita, to Voi, all that?
You know, the main reason why we have moved is because there is no pasture this side. So if it rains in this side, then we, you know, that's why we call pastoralist.
Pastoralist.
We move from one place to another to search food.
Now comes
pasture.
my biggest question.
Pasture
Yes.
and water.
You're coming from Kajiado,
Yeah.
going towards Lamanga and Loitoktok.
Yeah.
Yes.
There are already farmers down there
Yeah.
who have their own cattle.
Yeah.
Not
You're
even
coming
cattle,
with-
even their maize.
Yeah, you're coming with your own cattle.
Yes.
Don't you think that that now will lead to the point of overgrazing? Because okay, umetoka Kajiado, mwingine ametoka pale,
Kweli.
nyi wote mmepatana Loitoktok.
Yeah.
Then at that point, now that's your grazing field. Don't you feel like you'll exploit those resources down there to a point that next time
You have again to shift.
Maybe next time there won't be a place for you guys to shift.
I think it will be the so, but because you are the one in Masai, we believe that if you have, all of us have. So we have come, we have.
If you have, we all
All of us are nietu.
Hey,
This
ni
guy
yetu.
is
So,
nietu.
tunakuja tunakula,
Yetu,
eh.
lakini wakati ya kuchinja ni yake. Anyway, let's go and get some traffic update here. We are seeing that there are courtesy of Mathri routes, there are GKRT matatus operating between Githurai and OJ. OJ ni wapi huko? Kahawa West.
Fadhiriko.
No, very unroadworthy. Ziangaliwe. Someone else saying that, by the way,
Kizungu imekuwa ngumu.
kuna vitu hawezi soma in public. Incident says, let us know what's happening. There's somebody who's saying, I think it is mandatory. It's about time we brought back mandatory use of helmets by border riders and passengers. I saw in Rwanda, everybody had a helmet. There was nobody on a motorbike that did not have a
The
helmet.
driver and the passenger.
Both of them.
I think the difference is discipline.
Hey.
Kenyans, you can all agree
jokers.
with me.
The order there is a different state. All right, that is Mary Abungu who says that. There is someone saying that that there's traffic on Mombasa Road. That is normal. Let us see the live map here. Upper Hill, inbound and outbound moving. We have Parklands moving. The expressway has some traffic along the museum exit. Very interesting that sometimes you get traffic on the
expressway.
It's
Very interesting.
Very interesting. So let us know if you have any incidents to report, and then we will be able to factor that as well. Now, before we go for a short break, planting of trees in Kajiado County. Can it be a success?
Yes, because uh, if you plant trees, they have a lot of advantage. Number one, we say they will attract rain, and then the weather condition or the oxygen and whatever will be very okay. And if you plant trees, it will be very okay because we will be having one thing that all of us require, rain.
Fantastic. We'll come back. When we come back, we will talk more about now the effects. Kelvin will touch on the business. What makes sense in terms of business, in terms of how we're going to transform these activities from just, it's not just pasture commercialization. There's a lot. There's training required. There's agronomic support required. What do you need? We have some giveaways that we'll be having here. We have some seeds that we want to share with you. So keep it locked here. We are taking a short Farmers is the home of Africa Farmers Club and by extension African Farmers. The whole idea behind Farmers is to transform the image of an African farmer from a producer into an entrepreneur, somebody who actually does not think about how to produce onions but how much is going to be used to produce onions, and so that way then they can be able to transform their vision, they can be able to look at their farms as businesses, and they can be able to know when to engage with the market. What we have done is that we have developed a hub where farmers bring their information, bring their questions, their challenges, and other farmers are there to come out and help. Facebook has not just been instrumental, Facebook has been a working partner for myself as well. And Facebook has actually transformed the way we relate, an open platform. My background is in tech. And I know you cannot build a platform that can reach out to so many people. Initially, it was just a few farmers in 2 counties, Machakos County and Kajiado counties, but now it has transformed. We have a stronger membership from Nigeria and Zambia than even Kenya itself, And the reason behind this is the messages I get from different farmers across Africa. And then something interesting came to my mind, and I thought about using the camera. Every time I visited farmers, I would be able to post in the community, in the group, in my own profile, and just share the story of the farmer that I visited. And then I asked myself, why wouldn't I get this information, develop it in a way that other people can be able to benefit? If we go for a training, how do we capture that so that those who are not, the farmers who are not able to come for that training can still benefit? And hence the birth of a farmers media. Our mission as an organization is to help farmers, African farmers, to attain knowledge and grow profits.
This is
a farmer's
Media.
A farmer's media.
We tell you the stories of African farmers. Welcome back to a farmer's evening drive. We are discussing pasture commercialization, but from the angle of the younger generation. What can we do to be able to support them? But not just support them, but how can we be able to change the mindset so that they can be able to get whatever they are going to get, you know, in terms of the feeds, in terms of the quality of the feeds, but not just the quality of the feeds, but also the return on investment, because it's going to be an investment, a very heavy investment.
Absolutely.
We don't have the right figures now in terms of it, but we're just looking at what does it make sense. Hay, 1 acre, how many bales do you get? Because I want us to do a calculation. How many bales an acre taken care of well?
Oh,
yes,
you
not
said
just
that.
not just hay.
In 1 acre, you can harvest, because ratio it was in our land, we had like 5 acres, we have almost 3. Let's say in 1 acre you can have like 60 to 100 well stacked
Hay bale.
Yeah.
And how many kilos is that one? Because I think there's a discussion that some of the hay that was coming to Kajiado was not big enough.
Yeah.
What is the weight value of that hay?
You can find from 10 kgs to around 15.
10 to 15 kilos.
That will be very okay.
How many kilos does, I think that is the mathematics Kevin will guide us through. How many kilos, how many cows would consume that in what duration?
Yeah. It depends with the breed of cows, because if you give the Saiwal and you give the whatever, the Zebu and even the Frisian Nini, it depends with the breed. For example, if you give 1 bale, it's very efficient to 3 cows.
Per day.
Per day. The whole day.
So that is good business.
Yeah, 3 cows.
What? So if you have 100,
100 times 3, that is 100 divided by 3. How much time is? The time is no. Because if 1 is to 3, it's
divide.
Yeah.
So if it's 100,
divide.
so that means for 100 cows you need 30 bales.
Yeah.
And how much is each bale?
Number 1, it depends with the timeline, because if it's drought, they have to go high.
It's expensive.
But if it's normal, you can get 150 to 200, at most 300.
And if it is expensive, is it quality?
That's where the argument comes in, because they are not quality, it's expensive, because they follow the law of seasons.
So is it that it's not a guaranteed quality, or is it the quality is bad?
It's not a guaranteed quality. It is not.
So when it's not a guaranteed quality, what are you talking? What are you looking at?
You know, if it's not a guaranteed quality, you don't have any other option. It will be, you just have to give them, because you are the one. It's the one available.
So if a community has 200 cows, we just help guide us. How many of that bales do they need in a month?
In a month.
In a month, that is.
Wow. So 1 bale works for 3 cows a day. So for 200 cows, they'll need
in a day, just
at least 62 bales. 62 bales in a day.
In a day, times
times 30. That will be 1,860.
So 62
bales in a month. 1,860 bales in a month. Then if you get the 1860 bales,
even if it's times 200
times
shillings.
200 shillings, that's 272,000.
372.
372,000 in a month.
That's a lot of money.
That's some big investment.
That's huge.
It's a huge investment.
So now what I'm looking at, if we use that mathematics and ask them to have 1 person in every village, a village is too far, in fact. Let's assume, okay, every village. Do you think using that mathematics can help them understand the importance of actually growing this?
Absolutely. They just have to understand
Because
it's
how many cows are in a village? A rough estimate. I mean, before the drought.
Before that, like 1,000, even more than.
In a village.
Yeah.
So if you extrapolate that data, that calculation to 1,000, we're talking about 3 million shillings.
Yeah.
3 million shillings. That is the amount of money that you spent, but the cow still died. So now the next thing I wanted to find out is when you look at the quality of this pasture that was coming in, what was the guaranteed quality?
They were grass and they were the mchele.
Yes.
Mchele.
Yes.
But the quality was about the grass because when the cows eat grass, it can sustain for a long time than this thing because this thing is easily digestible in the body system of a cow than the grass.
So the pasture that came, the silage that came, was it good quality? If you compared with the hay that came.
The silage or the pasture? The pasture or the silage? The hay or the silage?
The silage that came, as compared to the hay that came, which was more nutritious to the cows?
Hay, the silage.
The silage.
Silage was more nutritious.
So what was the cost of the silage? How much were you buying the silage at?
The one silage was around, I don't know, 3,000, but it was 7 tons. It was very big.
So that is giving an approximate of 20 shillings per
ton. Yeah.
20 shillings per ton.
Yeah.
That was inclusive of the transport.
So when they brought here, they were selling at for 20 shillings per kg. They were selling.
And how much of that is consumed by a cow? I mean that, for example, 1 kilo. How many cows per day?
I think one cow can consume like 2 kgs in a day.
Where?
So basically, let's go back to the 3 cows. That's 6 kgs a day. 6 kgs.
But because
so if you have 100 cows, you need 2 tons.
Yeah.
2 tons is how much? It was what? You said the 3,000 shillings was 7 tons.
Yeah.
So basically, you needed 1,500 shillings every day.
Yeah. That's a lot of money. Daily.
You guys are rich, man.
Daily.
So, because I'm looking at one of the ways to convince and also start talking about the mind shift would be mathematics.
Yeah.
Would be basically mathematics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the return on investment there
is crazy.
Yeah.
So now let me ask you now.
Do you guys
may
make
get to the
profits?
point that our community have spent a lot of in feeding those cattle. They have lost it. They have lost the cattle. Even if they come and sell, they will not bring the investment that we have really invested.
How long do you think it will take for this to recover?
I think the only solution here is now rain. I don't think there is anything. If it will rain,
because even now there's no money to buy the feeds.
Yeah.
I mean, even if you buy, you're feeding what?
Yeah.
All right, very interesting. So now let me ask you, what are your aspirations as a young person in the community, getting to understand and getting this information about pasture commercialization, about growing pasture itself? How can we make this attractive? We'll be sharing some photos. We visited a farmer in Kitui, and I don't know if our producer can be able to showcase just that is hay. That is hay in the background. You can see the quality talks for itself.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
this is our chairman. The chairman of is called Kisai. Is our chairman of the Kajiado Beekeepers Cooperative Union. He's our chairman. I know he will tell me. Now, probably the next photo we can be able just to see that quality, close to excellent.
Yeah.
This was 180 acres.
That's a very big.
Just that. natural seeding. He was seeding them itself, and what he was doing that he was cutting some, but a lot of grazing was happening there, so that the manure is retained.
That's okay.
Yes. And then the next photo probably can show that is the old man himself, Mr. Musyoka, who really took us through why he was doing this, the importance of doing this at a younger age. You know, he has won quite a number of awards himself. You can imagine that is deep inside Kitui. You know,
It's very interesting, actually.
Very interesting.
yes, a very interesting scenario, and I mean, it's a farmer that would like to see. Look at that.
That's amazing.
You can imagine the hay that is stored there.
Yeah.
In fact, he says that the hay, he doesn't see that structure as important for the hay. He actually sees the importance of that structure in collecting the rainwater.
The harvesting.
You get, yes.
Harvesting.
Yeah, that's why I can see that.
You get
Yeah.
gutters all over.
Yeah.
You know, so you can imagine this guy has dairy cows deep inside Kitui. You know,
Yeah.
in fact, it's just that we didn't share the photos, but you
the
can
business
imagine.
is flourishing well.
Fantastic. Let's just go back to the previous photo of the other structure. You know, that is a lot of hay.
Yeah.
That is a lot of hay. He was saying that he has close to, I think, 8,000 bells.
That is a lot.
8,000.
That is a lot.
You know?
A lot.
Yes, and then he processes his own silage still. He still has his own silage. He still has, you know, and the quality of the sheep was amazing, you know. Yeah. So my thinking, my question back to you, Titus, is, and Kelvin, now, what is the approach? What are the next steps? What do you think we can start from tomorrow?
I think number one, since we have seen this disaster, you know, you can the things of the future are planned today. Number one, if you bring the issue of the land, if it's fencing time, we will not come and fence when it have started raining.
Yes.
Let us begin now fencing those acreage of lands according to the acre of the lands you have, and then because the water is scarce, let's just wait for God and rain. If it's rain, you will see the
wait for God and rain.
My friend, I'm telling you, these guys have hope.
Eh.
I need that kind of hope in my life.
So let me ask
From my
you,
side.
from before that, Kelvin, economically, does it make sense to wait for the rains and the weather has changed?
Economically, it will not, because we will still suffer. But if you think in an economic way, why would you make we make some groups, even if we raise some money. Currently, if you will drill a borehole, it's around 2 million, 1 point something.
Can you come in as community?
You come as community and then say, because of this disaster that we are seeing, let us contribute some money monthly, even if it will take time, but it's a long-term solution. And
What
then-
about the local leadership?
and inquire the local leadership, the county governments, the national government, the MP. Another thing that I can say, and then you drill that. Another thing is about, I heard the president saying that they will drill much of the dams, big dams. There is a dam here in Kitengela Ward in a place called Sholinke. That this dam was invaded by our current MP because he was not the MP yet. It was a 43 billion mega dam. It's a very big one.
It's meant to be constructed.
Yes, so they were thinking about, if the government brings these things, because when it rains and the water, it will take a lot of time.
I mean, there's a lot of water that comes from Kajiado when it rains.
It's a lot of water.
It's a matter of harvesting that.
Yeah,
Exactly.
if we harvest a lot of water, then we will not be having a
So
lot
it will
of
make
problem.
economic sense.
Yeah.
So if the water is available, will it still make sense for pasture commercialization? Because you see that the thing is that now we have to understand.
Yeah, because number one, people have now to learn. If you learn, even around that place, you can construct like 50 or 20 acres that they will be planted
Pasture.
the pasture only.
Okay, fantastic.
Okay, from my side, wow, yeah, but you've gone so much into the details. But I think the first step you're supposed to take is basically sensitization.
Yes.
Because take over scenario of the farmer from Kitui. That's a very good example of someone who can show, like now in Kajiado, guys have seen the reality.
Yeah.
There's no other way out. The only other way out is being ready for such a disaster.
Yes.
Yeah.
Who is the best person to teach you this? Someone who has already done
Experience.
and experienced all
Yes.
this.
Yes.
So we need to go out there before we wait for those rains and before we wait for the dams to be constructed, guys need to know when we have this water, what will we use it for?
Yeah.
Because we might construct dams, but guys are still moving their cows from here to Little
That's very true.
Yes.
and leaving the water here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how are we going to maximize on these resources that we are trying to mobilize right now to make our life easier and to avoid such disasters in the future? Yeah. So I would say the first point, sensitization. Let's go to there, tell, advise our communities. Now that they have seen whatever has happened, I'm sure everyone has an open mind and is ready for advice or ready for correction from anyone. Yeah, so let's go to there. And also a point of knowing what varieties and what species of grass will go well where. Because there are species that won't do as well in Kajiado or will do better in another place. Yeah. So
even the different ecological zones.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yes.
So we need our local government and our authorities now to invest more on the technical assistance.
Yes.
Yeah.
Interesting. Thank you very much, young gentlemen, for sparing some time. I know it is hard hitting, but it is reality, and that is where we have come. We have a very interesting proverb of this evening, and the proverb says that wisdom is like a baobab tree. No one individual can embrace it. So you cannot be the only wisdom, wise person. You know, and that now means that as we're talking about pasture commercialization, how can we bring all the stakeholders together and be able to do this? This has been a Farmers Evening Drive right here from County 034, where we help you connect, learn, and grow. Remember, we are in the process of making sure that we work with you. We make sure that you are successful. We help you connect with the right partners, but this process is not a quick fix. Farming is not a quick fix. Farming is not something that you say, I want this now and I'll get it done. No, it is a process. You have to get in, understand what it is, understand the figures so that you can be able to be successful. Till we meet again, this is your host, Noah Nasiali Kadima.
Thank you.